Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Okay.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. So today, we'll be looking at operating system. I want us to continue from where we left last week. We'll look at how to check the system information using different commands, and then we'll look at how Windows operating system is being installed on a computer. So first, let's begin with what happens when you turn your computer on. So if you have a computer or you have any laptop, as soon as you press on the power button, okay, power is being supplied to all the components on the motherboard, okay, including the CPU, hard disk, and the graphics processor. Now, what happens is that after this company have been supplied with the power, there's this one important file called the BIOS. Okay, the BIOS is more like a firmware. Like I said last week, the Power On Seld Test. This is contained in the BIOS. So after the power has been supplied into the component, the CPU, okay, the CPU initializes itself and looks for a small program that is typically stored in a chip on the motherboard. Now this program is called the BIOS. What BIOS stands for is basic input, basic output. Like I said last week, this contains the post. Okay, so after the CPU has loaded the BIOS, it checks all the components of the computer. Now that's the work of the BIOS. Okay, so after the power is being supplied to the component, especially the CPU loads the BIOS. Now the BIOS checks all the components of the computer and sees if they're working properly. But that's the power on set. Okay, so after the BIOS have checked all this process working perfectly, it has to look for a boot device. Okay, a boot device like your hard drive, solid state drive, or your external or any external hard drive, or your hard disk in your computer, which contains the operating system. After they're looking for the boot device, the bootloader holds the operating system in memory for it to start on the computer for you to see. Okay, so please, I'm going over again. Listen carefully, I'm going over. What I'm saying is that when you press the power button on your computer, power is being loaded to all the components of the computer. You made mention of components of computer, the processor, the graphics processor, the solid state drive, all the components, the screen, everything is being loaded with power. Now, after the power I've loaded, the CPU after it's gotten power, loads the BIOS. What the BIOS does is that it search your computer and make sure all the components of your computer are working perfectly. After the BIOS have loaded, the BIOS look for what we call the boot loader. The bootloader sits between the hardware and the operating system. Okay, so after the BIOS have checked all the everything is looking perfectly, it calls the bootloader, which look for a boot device. The boot device is your hard disk, which is holding the operating system. The boot device holds the operating system in the RAM, random access memory, for it to load for you to see the computer start up. When you turn your computer, it tells you no boot device found. It means the computer does not see your hard drive. After the BIOS have seen your hard drive and are determined that it has an operating system, it calls for the bootloader for your computer to start up, and then the window starts for you to see. So, like I said, this process might vary slightly depending on your specific hardware and the software configuration. So what it means is that, sometimes some of the computers are slow based on the RAM that you have, or the speed, or the kind of hard drive that you have. If you have a solid state hard drive, the speed must be sometimes a little bit faster than somebody running a normal hard drive. Or if your RAM is above 8 gig. It's faster than somebody having 4 gig RAM. So that's what it means. Let's move on to the main event of today, which is the introduction to Windows. So Windows has a long history dating back to 1985 and a dominant operating system in both home and house, home use and corporate networks. So Windows operating system in those days started with, I think when it started, the first operating system we were using was it Windows XP. Yeah, Windows XP. You see Windows XP with the interface where you have this worm on a is it paper? I hope you all know Windows. We've all used Windows XP before.
Windows started with MS-DOS, so it was command line.
They started with command line. They moved MS-DOS.
Command line. Then it came to it's the Mint, something like that. Windows Mint or something before it came to XP.
I didn't want to,
go there. Okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about, because those times there were not any hardcore software that people were using. So the first operating system that came with a nice interface where you can, move the mouse about, was the Windows XP. That's why I wanted to start from that side. I have a problem with my laptop. Like, we'll see some of the interface of some of the versions of the Windows operating system. But don't worry, I'll send you the slide so that you get a clear picture of what I'm talking about. Windows. So we start with the Windows XP, which has this interface where they started with the Explorer. Okay, Explorer. Explorer is just the file. But then it was the file, usually when you open a folder on your computer, those is called Explorer. And then the browser version of the Windows operating system was it? Mr. Danny, please, can you remember the first browser on the Windows XP? Okay.
So it used the Explorer, the Internet Explorer. Yes, the Explorer.
Yeah, Internet Explorer. Okay. We move on to the Windows Vista. Okay, Windows Vista. So from there, then from the Windows Vista, then we came to Windows 7. We all know Windows 7. I mean, most of us have used Windows 7. So Windows 7, then move on to 8.1. One of the worst operating systems ever developed by Microsoft. 8.1 had a lot of problems, but we'll talk about that later on when we start with the installation of the Windows. So from Windows 8.1 now we move to Windows 10. Then now currently we are using the Windows 11.
Please, someone's app is up. Please, can you ask your question?
Okay, all right. Okay.
I wanted to ask that. So when you turn on your computer, everything that happens on the computer is done on the operating system.
Everything that's what?
Everything that you do on the computer is done on the operating system, right?
It's part of the operating system.
Like it's done on the.
Asking whether everything you do now on your computer is done on the operating system.
Yes. Everything is running on the operating system as of now. Everything you open right now is running on the operating system now.
Okay. So can you use two operating systems on one computer?
Can you use? Yeah. You can use multiple operating systems on one computer. Yes.
Okay.
And then you should make sure your resources will be able to manage them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So please, if you look at the slide, the last comment there, those who have Windows 10, please, by next year, October, next 2 years, October, you will not be able to use Windows 10 again. They will not support it. So it means that whatever you are doing now, you have to get a good machine that can run Windows 11 or any other version that comes up. So I will exit the screen and then open my laptop itself so that he can do the demonstrations. So I'll stop sharing. And then the guy will just ask the question. Yes, if you have a good machine, you can run multiple operating systems. but you want to run them one at a time. If you want to run all together, it means that you have to get a virtualized environment to run all together. But please don't be confused about that, okay? We are doing basic computer skills.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's saying I should open command prompt. Now, if you want to open command prompt, there are so many things you can do. You can just go to search, and then you just type command prompt, or command prompt. You see command prompt, and then you select it. That's the easiest way. Okay, Mandela, I'm here. So what happens?
Okay, so after you open command prompt, please you type system info. It just the command prompt is just like the way we search, the way I searched last week. Okay, this is just the command line version of it. Okay, this is just a command line version of it. So what I did yesterday was a graphics way of searching for the information of your computer. So this is the command line that I'm talking about. Okay, so if you want to search the information. Now, what this does is that it gives you all the information about the computer that you have. So as you can see, now it tells you the name, like what we saw last week, the name of the user, the manufacturer, the type of processor you're running, the processor that you have, the type of processor that you have, the speed of the processor. It tells you basically everything about your computer that you're running. Okay, so this is another way to check the information of your computer. Now, when you check, please, there's one thing that people always do that I don't like, especially the DJs that we have. You will see somebody running Windows 10 on a dual core machine. I mean, come on, you can't do that. Make sure you check the requirement. If the machine is not able to, don't force it. This is how you get problems. This is how you manage to get blue screens, crashes your hard drive, and then you end up wasting a lot of money just to get a new laptop or a new hard drive. So please, if you check the requirement and it's able to take the operating system that come to run, good. If it's not able, please make sure you do the needful. Now there's another way too. There's another way. Now this one gives you the display. It gives you the information about your display of your computer. And then there are some people who are going to buy it, but they want to check the display information. They want to check, something. Some other information that the command line will not give you. So, for example, please, can we just go to the DX dialog? So we just press Windows R.
So you hit your Windows key and then R together, and this opens. Please, what am I typing?
This dialog. Okay. Actually, this one takes a little time to load. So, okay. All right. So you see, this one gives you the display information about your computer, but the command line doesn't show your display information. So, please, can we go to the display? Okay. So after you use the command line to check the name, the processor, and everything, now this gives you the display information about your computer. Okay, then it gives you the sound information too. You should be able to know the type of sound quality that comes with the laptop after you check the display. So this is also another way to check the information of your computer. Okay, so now the next thing that we'll be looking at is how to install Windows operating system.
What I want to add is that I want everybody to follow what he's going to take us through now.
So as you are opening a virtual machine, let me walk them through. Now, before you install Windows 10, You have to look at the size. Windows 10 is more than 4 gig. Yeah, Windows 10 is more than 4 gig. So at least you need a 4 gig pen drive. Okay, you need a 4 gig pen drive, 4 gig and above, to be able to create a bootable device. So now, before you install a Windows operating system, you have to convert your pen drive into a bootable device. Now, some of the things that you need to create a bootable device is a pen drive. One, then you need a third-party soft copy, like Power ISO. So I'll walk you through the Power ISO. But now, please, do you have a Power ISO?
Unless I download and install right now.
Okay. So now, if you install the software called Power ISO, now and you open it, you head straight to the subtopic. You go to tools. When you go to tools, within the tools, you see a place. You see create bootable device. Now, what this does is that when you click on this, it locates your pen drive. Okay, it locates your pen drive and enables you to choose the operating system. Okay, so let's wait for him to install the Power ISO. So, like I said, you need a pen drive more than 4 gig to be able to create a bootable device. So, if you have a modern computer, you download the 64-bit operating system. So, after you've downloaded the software, okay, you put it on the pen drive, you make the pen drive bootable, then now you proceed to install it on your computer.
I want to ask another question.
Okay, please ask.
Yeah, is it sometimes when you download when you try to install the Windows, they'll ask you for product key or something like that. So without the product key, you cannot actually use the Windows, or you can use it without the product key.
Don't worry, we'll get it. We can now before it asks you if you have a product key. Now, what the product key does is that it activates the Windows for you. Now, if you don't have a product key, you can select a different option that, I don't have a product key. It will still continue for you to install the Windows. So even without a product key, you can still go ahead to install it.
Okay.
It's taking too much time. If it were to be Ubuntu, it would have just been fast. And that's all.
Like by now, as for Windows, it has a lot of graphics and a lot of command lines running in the background, so it slows it down.
So please, let's take this time to interact. If you have questions about, you have some issues that you have faced on your
please, you said Ubuntu. What is Ubuntu? Is it another type of operating system, or
did you miss the first session?
Yes, please.
I didn't hear you well.
He's asking if the
yes.
Ubuntu is just another
operating system. Okay.
It's another operating system, just like the Windows operating system.
That is very light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this one has fewer graphics, so it makes it very faster than the Windows.
Oh, okay.
So like we're talking about the RAM and all those things. You see the way my machine is very slow. It's because I'm trying to run a virtual machine, and then this machine will take like 4 gig of my memory, and my total memory is like 6 gig. So with a virtual, I'm going to do like 2 gig, even though it's 4 gig. I'm going to do like 2 gig. So taking 2 gig out of my 6 gig, and then running a browser that is also eating up my memory, running some graphics eating up my memory, it makes the machine so slow. So if you are having 2 gig RAM in your machine right now, it means that you can't run a virtual machine on your machine. Things will become so slow, just like you are experiencing on my machine now. And that's why you need to be buying machines that are like 8 gig and above.
Yeah.
If you have
so like I explained last week, that when we were doing the face-to-face, you have a door, and so many people are trying to go through that door, but the door is too small. Like it was done explained, the RAM. 2 people are trying to go through one door at a time. if you have, we'll struggle to go through. So it's just like the RAM. If you have a bigger RAM, you have more accessible doors that everybody can go through. It makes everything successful and faster.
Okay. Please, what's the maximum RAM you can get?
Okay, so for Windows 10, the maximum size of RAM that you should have is 4 gig.
Mandela, she said maximum.
Maximum, yeah.
The minimum should be 4 gig.
Oh, sorry. Minimum is 4 gig. Now, maximum can be 32 gig. 32 gig, yeah.
Okay.
2 gig.
Thank you.
And then, just to add to, the pen drive, you have different type of, the laptops, the computers, we have different manufacturers. Okay, we have Dell, we have HP,
Toshiba.
Yes, we have Lenovo. Okay, so now we have something we call boot menu. Now, what the boot menu does is that it helps you to locate where to load the operating system. Now, all these computers have different boot menus. Okay, so like HP boot menu is escape. Okay, now the most common one among all the computers is F12. Okay, F12. So most of the computers have F12 as their boot menu. But with HP, it's escape. Toshiba is F12, Dell is F12, and I think Lenovo is also F12.
So please,
you started.
No, it will start installing because virtual machine will ask you for the things that you want to do before you come here.
Yeah.
Virtual machine will already ask for those things. So those things, I guess, you are telling the machine to install from this place or something.
Okay, so it's connecting. Let's just wait. Okay, all right.
So should I unshare?
Yes.
Okay, stop sharing. Please share your own.
All right. So let me share my screen. Okay, so this is how the interface looks like. So you have your pen drive. Now, before you open this software, you make sure your pen drive is connected to your laptop or your computer. Okay, and the software shouldn't be on the pen drive. It should be on the laptop. So you go to tools. Now, when you go to tools, okay, so you go to create bootable USB drive. I hope you can all see. So you click on that. So, okay, so it's telling me I should run it in administrator. So you always run it in an administrator. Now, when this Windows open, you head on to this place. You click on this file icon. Now, what this file does is that it makes you locate where your operating system is, the software you want to load onto the pen drive. It makes you locate it. So you click on that. So now you have to locate where the operating system is. So after you've located the software, you click on it, then you move on to open. You click on open. So it loads the operating system. Then you move to the second, you check and make sure it has selected your pen drive. Okay, make sure it has selected your pen drive. And please, don't select your hard drive. Otherwise, it will format it. Don't select your hard drive. Make sure it has selected your pen drive and check the size. You see, the size of my pen drive is 30 gig. So it means that's my pen drive. So after you've selected your pen drive, then you move on to start. Now, when you start, what is that? It converts your pen drive into a bootable device. So after it's done, your pen drive should look like this. When you open your pen drive, you should see some files like this. Okay, you have the boot, you have the if you have the source, you have the support. Okay, and you have the setup itself. After it is done, and you don't see these folders, it means you didn't do it well. So after you have all this on the pen drive, what you do is you turn off your computer, okay, or you restart it. I've already told you all the machines, all the computers have their boot menu. So like for me, I'm using HP, okay? So as soon as I turn on the power button, immediately you continue to press escape. If it's Toshiba, you continue to press F12, F12. So after you've chosen the boot device, please make sure you select your pen drive as your boot device. Well, that's what is holding the operating system or the software that you want to run. So this is an interface of how the boot order looks like. So this place is to let you select the boot device. Okay, so here to me, my boot device is the CD-ROM. So I double click on it. Please, when you are using this, you are seeing this because I'm using a virtual machine. But on an actual machine, it should not appear like this when you're installing the Windows. Okay. So let's say you have a Toshiba. As soon as you turn it on, press F12, it loads to this place, which is the boot menu. And the boot menu enables you to select the boot device. Then the boot device is what holds the operating system. Okay. So to you select the pen drive, but because of what I'm doing, the virtual machine will load the operating system into my CD-ROM. So to me, I'll select the CD-ROM, but you select the pen drive. So what it will let you see is that it will write the name of the pen drive. Okay, so if you have a SanDisk, you see SanDisk pen drive. Or if you have any other pen drive, the name of the pen drive will be there. So as you can see at the top here, this is the boot manager, like I said. So this enables you to select the boot device that holds the operating system. So please let's wait for it to load. So from this process, okay, the operating system will load. Then you start the installation of your Windows 10. So the first thing is actually that if you want to proceed. So you proceed, you have to agree to the terms and conditions. From there, you move on to select where you want your operating system to be installed, which is your internal hard drive. Then you go to next. After you select next, the operating system starts loading into your internal hard drive. So that one, it takes some time. Sometimes it depends on the speed of your computer. It takes about an hour. But if some machines could take up to only 10 minutes or 5 minutes to complete. From there, then we move on to the some of the Windows features that you would like to have on your computers. Then you agree to another term again. To ask you whether you want to create a personal account or you are going to use the computer as an organization. Now, if the computer is yours, you select a personal account. That's it. Then you go to desktop. Then you are done. So there's no any something serious. Oh.
We have to close very soon, but if you have some questions, just keep your questions coming. And what I will also say is that don't be scared of formatting your machine if you have a problem. All we are doing is that we don't want a situation where you have gone through this class and then you get your CD or your pen drive, you have Windows on it, and you have problems, and you have to call somebody to come and do it for you. You can always do it yourself. If your drive is a bootable drive, all you need to do is slot into your machine, do a restart of your machine, and select, maybe do the F12, select a bootable device. That will be your pen drive or your CD, and then the installation will begin. It's very simple.
Okay, so please, we'll end here. Like was just bear with us. We're having problems and challenges on our computers.
So we'll meet next week, and we hope that everything will work fine next week. And then we'll start from here, and then we'll continue to how we can work around Windows. So some of the things that we do on Windows, maybe the folders and installing computer applications, uninstalling them, working with some application on the desktop. We'll learn all those things. Thank you very much. Mandela, thank you for helping us through. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you
too.
Thank you.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, great talk.